Oh, hey guys. Thanks for coming by. Today, we're going to be smoking some beautiful, delicious barbecue back ribs. Ribs are the American staple of backyard barbecue. Everyone loves them. They're easy, they're cheap. I mean, you can't go wrong. Now, today we have two different types of ribs here. We've got St. Louis cut and we have baby back. So if you come over yonder, I'll show you the difference. Now, here in front we have the baby backs. Now, if you'll look at these, you'll notice that there's a little bit more meat on top, but the real dead giveaway is the curved bones. They are much more curved than the other ones because these come from higher up on the animal, on the rib cage. Now, if we swap these out, look at the St. Louis cut, you'll notice not quite as much meat on top compared to these baby backs. And then if you flip them over, bones are a lot more flat. Before we get these ribs all seasoned up, we're going to go ahead and do a little bit of trimming. There's not a whole lot to be done. Basically, any loose hanging meat, cut that off and go ahead and remove the membrane. So we're going to start off with this obvious monstrosity. Just go ahead and get rid of that. And also you want to look for, you'll see how the bone's sticking out. Go ahead and just get rid of that. Don't need it. This can all go. Didn't even need a knife. Yeah, see there's a little bone hanging out there, thin piece of meat holding it together. That's just going to burn, so we'll go ahead and get rid of that. Another thin hanging piece of meat. Say bye. Alright, now we'll go ahead and remove the member. Now it's kind of hard to see. You're just going to have to take a butter knife and just kind of poke under this little thin flap right there. Try to get that loose and then you can kind of just work it out with a paper towel. Woo! Got just about the whole thing the first try. Alright, then we'll do the other one. We got our ribs trimmed up, so now we're going to go ahead and apply a binder. I'm always using mustard. You can use whatever you want. Hot sauce, some type of oil. But I find mustard always seems to do the job just right. Just do a little bit on there, rub her in. Now you may be asking yourself, what is a binder? Do I need it? Well, I think you do. Basically, it just helps as an adhesive to keep all the rub and seasonings on there. If you throw it on a dry piece of meat, you throw it on a smoker, all that rub's probably just going to fall off, so this will ensure that does not happen. Alright, let's go on with our rub. So to start, we go Killer Hogs A.P seasoning, salt, pepper, garlic, some other hidden ingredients I'm unaware of, but I know it tastes good, so let's start with a light coating of that. And then, to add to our sweet element, Swine Life Mississippi Grind. This will give a good sweet taste, it gives it some good color. And you can go pretty heavy with this stuff. Now give them a flip and repeat. So the ribs are seasoned up. I've let them sit for about 10-15 minutes. You want to make sure you get that rub to really set in there. It'll absorb a lot of the moisture from those ribs. It'll start to kind of tack up. That's what you want to look for. And during that, I got my smoker heating up to 275. Get a water pan in there, keep the chamber nice and moist. So I think we're ready to go ahead and put these on. So we got our ribs on. We're probably going to run them for about 2 hours. Basically what we want is want to get good color, and we don't want to get those rubs to really set in. When you go ahead and touch it and the rub doesn't smear anywhere, that's our cue to go on to the next step. So we've had these ribs on for about 2 hours. So we're going to go ahead and check them. Basically what we're looking for is to make sure that rub has stuck to the meat, that it's not loose moving around. If that's the case, we'll go on to the next step. So let's take a peek. So you can see we got some pretty good coloration here. And if you go ahead and just touch it with your fingers, none of the rub wants to come off. So I think it's time to wrap. So what we're going to do here is I've got 2 layers of aluminum foil, and we're going to start with some brown sugar. We're going to sprinkle it on the foil. Then we're going to go with some parquet spreadable squeezable butter. Last step, we're going to use my friend's Bugs barbecue. This is the Kickin' Honey one. Hot, sweet, good balance. All right, now we go get our ribs. Now that we got our ribs wrapped, we're going to go ahead and put them back in the smoker. Now, don't go and flip them back over. Make sure the side that's where everything, like all the foil meets up, make sure that's the side that's up, because once that butter and all that stuff starts to melt, it's just going to pour right out. So, make sure you got that side on the bottom. That's a wrap. So we're going to leave those on for about an hour. After that, we'll go ahead and open them up. We're going to check for doneness. I'm assuming by then it should be close to done. And then after that, we're going to sauce them, put it back in, let that tack up, and hopefully have some good ribs to eat. All right, so now we're going to go ahead and see where these ribs are at. Now what we're looking for is see that the bones are exposed, and you could, if you're going to go by temp, I'd say between 195, 205, but I really just go by feel, but we'll go ahead and check it anyway. So between that one, that's at 196. Go over here, that's 196, but the probe is going in just like if it was going into melted butter, so I'm going to say that's good. So we're going to go ahead and get these sauced up. Be gentle. And we'll just... Ooh, that's beautiful. Nice shimmer. I like that. I think we're heading the right direction here. Oh yeah. Those are looking great. So, we want to give it a good barbecue flavor, so we're going to go ahead and put a little bit of this Kickin' Honey on there. We're not going to do the back side just because it's pretty much all bone on that side, so I ain't too worried about that. Just really want to work on the meat side. And then channel your inner Bob Ross, get your paintbrush, and get a nice, good, even coat on there. Alright, back on the smoker. Now that we got our sauce on our ribs, we're going to go ahead and put them back in the smoker. About 15 minutes. Basically, we just want this, want the barbecue sauce to set, get a good glaze on it, and then it'll be time to eat. Alright, we're about 15 minutes in, so let's see what we're looking at. Now, if you look closely, you can see the sauce is starting to set. Nice and tacky. I think we're ready to pull them off. Alright guys, it's been 3 hours and look at these. These are beautiful. Like, I want to eat them, but I almost don't want to eat them. I kind of just want to stare at them. But food's not meant for staring. Let's see how these taste. So just cut them between the bones. I feel like it's self-explanatory, but if you didn't know, between the bones. Alright, the moment I've been waiting for, the taste. So I think I'm going to pick this piece right here. Got a good bit of meat on there. Oh my God. That is so good. The smokiness, you get that sweet and heat from that kicking honey. Oh, that's a good rib. That is a very good rib. I might mute a minute. Comes right off the bone, like doesn't fall off the bone, but just a little bit of pull. The way it should be. So the barbecue sauce that we used today on these ribs was from my friends at Bug's Barbecue. That particular one was kicking honey. It's got a good sweet, it's got some heat to it. Delicious. If you're interested in checking them out, we'll put a link in the description below. And if you use the code Brandon, you get 10% off. Can't beat that. Well guys, I appreciate you watching. I appreciate you giving me a reason to cook more food like this, because it's so darn good. So, if you like what you saw, like, subscribe, and all that jazz. I'll see you next time.